Hello everyone, welcome to my lecture. Here in this lecture, I will try to cover the formula which will be applied to find out the answer of any question related to permutation. So first of all, we will discuss what is the definition of permutation, then we will proceed to the formulas which will be applicable directly to find out the answer of the question, which is totally based on permutation. So it is already known to you, already in the previous video already I have explained that permutation means what? Permutation is nothing but an arrangement of any data or object. Maybe the objects are maybe distinct or may not be distinct. If we arrange among themselves to have a new arrangement, then that arrangement or number of arrangements will be known as permutations. So let's get the definition of permutation, what is actually it is. So then permutation means what? A permutation, a permutation is an arrangement. Remember, permutation is an arrangement in a definite order. That means permutation means order always matters. In case of permutation, you should have to give the importance to the order of the objects. That means three objects are there. If I write down ABC, it is a one permutation. Then BCM, it is another permutation. That is, depending upon the order, you will have different permutations or arrangements. So this is the basic concept, that is, permutation is an arrangement in a definite order of a number of objects taken some or all the time. Suppose 5 objects are given. Already we have explained so many questions. Suppose 5 objects are given. Out of 5 objects, you have to consider 3 to have an arrangement. So that's why whenever a definite number of objects are there, and out of all those objects, you have to take some of the objects or all of them to have a new arrangement. It is called a permutation. So let me explain once again. Suppose A, B, C, D and E. 5 objects are given. 5 letters are given, A, B, C, D. From the observation, you have come to know that all the objects are distinct. Gote object bila beleg object hoy. Suppose the question is given, how many different or new words can be formed from the letters of the from the letters A, B, C, D, E, a pasta letter or pora. So using 4 at a time. Remember, how many different new words may have meaning or may not be can be formed from the letters A, B, C, D, E, taken 4 at a time. 5 objects are there. Total number of objects is 5. Out of 5 objects, how many objects you have to consider? 4 objects you have to consider to have a new word. So how many new words can be formed? Listen. So initially, if I want to fill up this one place, how many different ways you can fill up? 5 ways. Because you can use any one of the 5 letters. Use A, B, C, D, E. Initially, as we are not using at all till now, so that's why 5 different possibilities are there. Either you can use A, or you can use B, or you can use C, or you can use D, or you can use E to fill up the first place. Suppose your repetition not allowed. That means you are not supposed to, whatever maybe the letter you have used here, you are not supposed to repeat it again. Suppose I have used B here. As repetition is not allowed, you are not supposed to use B once again. Then if I want to fill up the second place, how many possibilities are left with us? How many objects, how many letters are left with us? Himanta letter tumake use koribo porake thakibol. How many possibilities? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 different possibilities are there. That means this place can be filled up in how many ways? 4 ways. That means out of the 4 different letters, you can use any one to fill up the second place. Suppose I have written here B. E. As repetition is not allowed, you are not supposed to use E once again. How many different ways you can fill up? 3 letters are left with us. S, C, D. That is 3 ways. Suppose you have used D here. Okay? As repetition is not allowed, you are not supposed to use once again. How many letters are left with us? 2. To fill up the remaining place, you can opt either A or C. 2 different possibilities. So to have a 4 letters word, side letter or a word banabo lage, to have the word, you have to fill up the first place and second place and third place and fourth place. That means it is compulsory for us to fill up all the 4 places. Gote side place fill up koribo lagibo. as it is compulsory, that means we are using and to fill up the places, so that's why you have to use the multiplication principle. So how many total number of 4 letters words can be formed out of the 5 letters A, B, C, D, E? Okay, 120 words, 4 letter words can be formed where repetition is not allowed and objects are what? Distinct. Actually, what we have done here? So that means we can easily write down this one is 5 into this one is 5 minus 1, this one is 5 minus 2, and this one is 5 minus 3. Wait, I am going to explain the definite formula actually. So to have this one, suppose repetition not allowed, no doubt. This is a question of arrangement. Am I correct? Because 5 letters are there, you have to arrange 4 letters in between them to have a new word. So this is a complete question of permutation only. So how many 3 letters words can be formed? 3 letters. 3 letters words can be formed. Okay? So initially how many different ways you can fill up? 5. Repetition not allowed. So this test can be filled up in how many ways? 4 ways. Number of objects will be decreasing order. And this test can be filled up in how many ways? 3 ways. What is the answer? So 16. Correct? So what is the expression? 5. Here it is 5 into, it will be 5 minus 1 into 5 minus 2. Wait, what I am going to explain actually. Here in this case, how many objects are available with us? 5 objects. Out of 5 objects, how many objects you have to use? How many objects you have to use to have a new word? 4 objects. 5টা অবজেক্টৰ পৰা তুমি কেটা অবজেক্ট লৈ নতুন ওয়ার্ড বনাব লাগে? How many objects you have to use one at a time? এবাৰ তুমি কেটা অবজেক্ট ইউজ কৰিব পাৰিছা? এবাৰত 4টা অবজেক্ট লৈ এৰেঞ্জ কৰিছো। এবাৰ 4টা লৈছো তেতিয়া তোমালোকে 4টা জায়গা বহাব পাৰিবা। যদি তোমালোকে 5টা অবজেক্টৰ পৰা if you have considered 3 objects, how many places are there? 4 places. If you consider 3 objects, তেতিয়া তোমালোকে এটা অবজেক্ট ৰিপিট কৰিব লাগিব। Otherwise, you cannot form a 4 letters word. So, out of 5 objects, how many objects you have to use one at a time? 4 objects you have to consider to have a 4 letters word. And this is the case of permutation as it is. So, this expression can be written as 5p4. Am I correct? 5p4. This is the total number of objects. Total number of objects can never be negative, can never be fraction. This is the total number of objects, which is always an integer. Especially this one is always a natural number. Correct? This one is always a natural number. And out of these objects, how many objects you have to use? 4 objects. It is also a natural number. Or you can say that this one is a positive integer, including 0. Here in this case, how many objects are left with us? 5 objects. Out of 5 objects, how many objects you have to consider to form a 3 letters word? 3 objects. So this is the expression 5p3, 5p4. And already I have told that what is the answer? 120. This is the expression, and this expression can also be written as like that. That means 5p4 can also be written as 5 into 5 minus 1 into 5 minus 2 into 5 minus 3. Without going through this one explanation, if the explanation of Nuzua you can easily directly write down the answer. What is the expression for 5p3? The expression for 5p3 is this one. 5 into 4 into 3, 5 into 5 minus 1 into 5 minus 2. Listen. As out of 5 objects, how many objects you have to use? 4 objects. 5টাৰ পৰা কেটা ইউজ কৰিব লাগে? 4টা. How many terms will be there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Out of 5 objects, how many objects you have to use? 3 objects. Expression to কিটা নাম আছে? 3টা. এটা, দুটা, তিনটা. But listen. Here the number of objects is finite. 5. সেইকাৰণে তোমালোকে ইয়াৰ প্ৰপাৰলি এটা এক্সপ্ৰেছন পাইছা। Suppose the expression is given as like that. Listen carefully. If the expression is given like that, np3, then what will be the expression? If np7, what will be the expression? If npr, what will be the expression? Now we are going to generalize at which step you have to stop. Okay, so listen. As 4 is there, what is the last term? 5 is constant. 5 is constant everywhere. This is the total number of objects that same থাকিব. 5, 5, 5, 5. What about the last term? This is nothing but 4 minus 1. Am I correct? Out of 5 objects, you have to consider 4. How many terms will be there? Exactly 4 terms will be there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 terms will be there, no doubt. But what will be the expression, the last one? The last one will be 5 minus 4 minus 1. Am I correct? Last one will be 5 minus 4 minus 1. Here, what is the last one? Out of 5 objects, how many objects you have to consider? 3 টা object লাগে। তেতিয়াহলে কোনটো টার্ম তোমাকে বলবো? Exactly হতে হবে 3 terms. But what about the expression of the last term? It will ঠিক আছে, so obviously what about the expression the last term? 5 minus, that means in place of 2 we can write down 3 minus 1. Am I correct? Just like this, out of 5 object, 4 object you have to use. That means whenever you have to write down the 4 terms, the last term will be 5 minus 4 minus 1. Here you have to use 4. 5p3, what about the last term? 5 minus, this one is 3 minus 1. That's why obviously n minus 1. Am I correct? 5, total object is 5. So 5 minus 1, 5 minus 2, like that. As last one is as 4 times you have to write down. Here I last one to 5 minus 3 to result only gong paise. But here in this case, suppose npr is given, then what will be the last expression? Then obviously, if 4 is given, then how many terms will be there? 4 terms, n minus 1, n minus 2 into n minus 3. Kibanta term thakibo. How many terms will be there in the multiplication form in the expression? It's totally depend upon this one. 4. 4 is there, 4 terms. 3 is there, 3 terms. Suppose we have got npr, then what will be the expression? What is the exact value of r? Do you have any idea about it? 4, that's a 4 term. 3, that's a 3 terms. But if r is there, how many terms will be there in the expression? Do you have any idea about it? No. But we have got an expression for the last term always. n minus 1, n minus 2. How many terms will be there? R terms will be there, no doubt. But r means how much? R মানে কি মান হয়? Do you have any idea about it? No. Then what you will do? But we have the expression for the last one. n minus 1. 5 minus 3 minus 1. This one 3 you have to use. 5 minus, you have to use 4. 4 minus 1. That's why here what is the total number of object? N minus r minus 1. Am I correct? This is the expression for npr. N is the total number of object. Out of n object, how many object you have to use? R object. Few specific conditions are there. The value of r can never be greater than n. তোমালোকৰ n টা object আছে, 5 টা object আছে, তাৰ পৰা তুমি maximum কেটা consider কৰিব পাৰিবা? Maximum 5 টাহে পাৰিবা. Out of 5 object you cannot think about the consideration of 6 object. 5 টা object আছে, তাৰ পৰা তোমালোকে 6 টা object consider কৰাৰ কথা ভাবিব নোৱাৰা. So that's why the number of object to be considered always less than or equal to n. That means the value of r here should be less than or equal to n. But what is n? Number of object. Number of object. What is r? Number of objects. So number of object means object or number. Can we consider the number of object in fraction? No. Can we consider the number of object in negative? No. So that's why the value of r should be greater than, strictly greater than 0. Correct? So that means this one. The maybe 0 also. The value of r may be 0 also. Okay, is it clear? The value of r may be 0 also. So this is the expression. So that's why we have got an expression for npr. What is n? N is the total number of object to be total number of object. So this is the expression. So npr. So now I am going to explain what is the expression for npr. npr. N into n minus 1. Is it clear? N minus 2. What was the last one? N minus. How many terms will be there in the expansion? R terms will be there. But what about the expression for the last term? N minus R minus. It is already known to you. 5p3 means 5 into 4 into suppose 2. How many terms will be there in the expansion? 2 terms will be there. 5 into 4. Correct? 5 into 4. Is it clear? So in this way you have to write down the answer. That means what is the last term? 5 into, that means 5 minus r minus 1. R means 2 minus 1. So 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. So 5 minus 1 is equal to 4. This is the last term for any expansion of what? Any expansion of permutation. So you can use, this is the formula, but remember the value of r here, the value of r should be less than equal to n, greater than 0. So in this way you have to, okay. So I hope you have got my point. That means NPR, for NPR this is the expression n into n minus 1, n minus 2, n minus r minus 1 is the last term. Suppose 10C7, what will be the expression? How many terms will be there? Obviously 7 terms will be there, but what will be the last term? 10. It will be always in decreasing order. 10 minus 1 means 9 into 8. Listen, then what is the last term? N minus, n means total number of objects, minus r minus 1. What is the value of r here? 7 minus 1. Means 10 into 9 into 8 into, so 7 minus 1 is equal to 6, 10 minus 6 is equal to 4. That means up to 4 you have to write down. 7 into 6 into 5 into 4. Is it clear? So I think you have got my point. So in this way you have to write down the expression for this one. Okay. So we can easily try to find it out. Now let me explain or let me rearrange. I think in the previous video you have got the factorial n, value for factorial. Factorial of n means n, factorial of n is the multiplication of conjugative first n natural number. That means from n into decreasing order, n minus 1 into upward 3 into 2 into 1. This is the expression for factorial of n. That means from 1 to n, all the conjugative natural numbers you have to multiply. First n natural number. Okay. So if I try to rearrange them, then obviously suppose I have written n into n minus 1, n minus 2 in decreasing order. If you observe carefully, all the terms in decreasing order. Up to n minus r minus 1. Is it clear? N minus r minus 1. Suppose I have written up to 3 into 2 into 1. Okay, up to I have written this one. What about the next term? If it is decreasing order, then this expression can be written as n minus r plus 1. Am I correct? There decreasing order jabo, prottek ka tumi 1 eta komai jabo lagibo. You have to decrease by 1. What about the value of this one expression? N minus r plus 1. Then what about the next term? The next term will be, you have to decrease or subtract 1 from this term. So n minus r plus 1, তারপর 1 এটা minus করে দিয়া, you have to subtract 1, then plus or minus 1 it will be cancelled. What is the answer? N minus 1. Then obviously it will be n minus r. Have you got it? So in this way we can easily write down. But remember that the value of NPR is equal to this one. It is not the exact expression for NPR. Which one term you have written extra? তোমাকে two term extra কে লিখিলা. Up to from here to 1 you have written it extra. So just try to write down in n minus r, okay, upward into 3 into 21. You have written all those expressions in extra form. So that's why I have divided the whole expression by this one, so that after having the cancellation you have got the same answer. So 1 over 1 cancel, 2 over 2 cancel, 3 over 3, n minus r over n minus r cancel. All the terms are in cancellation form. That means we have written the same expression only. So মই কি কৰিলো, এইটো এক্সপ্ৰেশন কে লিখিলো, বাট অলপমান টার্ম বেসিক্যালি লিখিছো so that we can easily convert it to the simplest form. Factorial of n is what? Just to find out the multiplication value of the first n natural number, whole long expression can be replaced by factorial of n. Factorial notation is used to simplify or write down the expression in a simplest way. That's why here also I have tried to apply. Up to this is the term, all the terms in decreasing order, gote term like decreasing order হৈ আছে, এখানে মই up to 1 লকে লিখিলো. The terms that you have written in extra form you have to divide it. Tak divide কৰি দিয়া, that after having the cancellation you will get the same answer. Cancel কৰিছো you will get the same answer. But after this one term, is it the term? How can we know that is it the exact term? Because as the term in decreasing order, এখানে তোমাকে ইয়াৰ পৰা 1 এটা মাইনাস কৰি দিয়া, so n minus r plus 1. So ইয়াৰ পৰা যদি মই 1 এটা মাইনাস কৰি দিও, so plus 1 minus 1 cancel, so n minus r will be the next term. Then what about the next term? ইয়াৰ next term কি হ'ব তেতিয়া হলে? এটা কি টার্ম আহিব? So n minus r minus 1 আহিব. Because a term to পৰা you have to decrease by 1. 1 এটা তুমি subtract কৰিলা, so n minus r minus 1 হ'ব. Next term. So it is known to you from 1 to n, if all the natural numbers and multiplication form, then to be represented by factorial of n. From 1 to n, then obviously it will be factorial of n. Am I correct? These are the terms which lies in the middle portion of this one expression. 1 of n log multiply hoyse, and in the denominator from 1 to what? All the consecutive natural numbers up to what? N minus r. So that's why you have to write down factorial of n minus r. That means a long expression can also be written in the simplest form using factorial addition. So NPR, what we have got? NPR, okay, NPR is equal to factorial of n divided by factorial of n minus r. So for example, 7p3. 7p3 means what is the value of n here? N is just direct compare. N is equal to 7. R is equal to what? 3. So what is the answer? Factorial of n. That is factorial of 7. And in the denominator, n minus r. Difference of these two terms. N minus r factorial. 7 minus 3 is 4n factorial. In the previous video already I have explained. That means always try to compare which one is the greater one. Factorial of 7 is greater one. Because factorial of 7 is the multiplication of first 7 natural number. 1 to 7. And factorial of 4 is multiplication of first 4 natural number 1, 2, 3, 4. So then obviously it is greater, and try to break the greater one. How can you break 7 into 6 into 5 into factorial of 4? Am I correct? Factorial of 4, all the terms have multiplication form. Factorial of 4 cancel, 210. Is it clear? So in this way, with a few seconds we can easily find out the answer. In the same way also, another process is there. It is already known to you. Out of 7 objects, how many objects you have to consider? 3 objects you have to consider. That means in the expansion, how many terms will be there? Initially you have gotten how many terms will be there? If r is there, so r terms will be there. 3 is there, so 3 terms from 7 to decreasing order. 7 into 6 into 5. Just try to multiply 210. Have you got the same answer? 7 का object over 3 का object लो arrange करो. That means from 7 in decreasing order 3 terms you have to multiply. 7 into 6 into 5. That means 210. Using the formula you have got 210. Without using the formula you have got 210. Okay. So in this way we will try to write down all those expressions. So very simple procedure to find out the answer. Suppose 5p2. Remember all the objects should be distinct. This is the formula if all the number of combinations. So remember, this is the formula for, wait, I am writing down once again. Number of combinations means what? Permutation means arrangement. Number of permutations when all the objects are distinct. Remember, when all the objects are distinct, then and then only we will try to apply this formula. NPR is equal to what? In two different ways you can easily find it out. N into n minus 1, n minus 2. Remember, in decreasing order, starting from n, in decreasing order, how many terms you have to write down? R terms you have to write down. What about the last one? N minus R plus R minus 1. Okay? Or you can easily write down NPR is equal to factorial of n divided by factorial of n minus R. Zing's error, we will try to apply this formula only. But limitation is there, R should lie between n greater than 0. That means, if the total number of object is n, the number of object to be considered, to be arranged koribo kane kimanta object loba, that number should be less than equal to n. but it should not be greater than n. n ত কে তোমাৰ 10টা অবজেক্ট আছে তাৰ পৰা তুমি এৰেঞ্জ কৰিব কাৰণে ম্যাক্সিমাম কেটা লবা 10টা লব পাৰিবা তাতকৈ বেছি লব নোৱাৰিবা because total number of object you have is 10. 10টা অবজেক্ট আছে তাৰ পৰা তুমি এৰেঞ্জ কৰিব কাৰণে কেটা লবা ম্যাক্সিমাম 10টা and minimum 0 you may consider. Got it? So this one will be equal to 0 also somewhere you make it. So this one will be equal to 0 also. Okay? Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you have got my point. But for some reason, no need to write down equal sign here. I will explain in the next video. Okay? So because if I write down 0 here, r may be equal to 0 or may be equal to n. That means n. For if you observe carefully, then this inequality contains exactly 0 equal to r equal to n. That means the value of n may be equal to 0 also. So that's why it will be better for us to no need to write an equal sign. If you want, then it's okay also. So I hope you have got my point. So remember very important thing that whenever the objects that you have to arrange are distinct, I mean step by step. First point is the permutation যে যেতিয়া অবজেক্ট বিলাক ডিস্টিংক্ট হ'ব তোমালোকক এৰেঞ্জ কৰিবলৈ দিয়া অবজেক্ট বিলাক ডিস্টিংক্ট হয় ফৰ এক্সাম্পল how many new words can be formed from the letters of the word rose এই rose number word to letter বিলাকৰ পৰা কিমান 4 letter words can be formed so all of these are distinct r o h e so that's obviously we try to apply the direct permutation formula to the but how many new words can be formed from the letters of the word book will not try to arrange the permutation formula directly. A permutation formula we can take apply because O repeated twice here. If objects are not distinct, you are not supposed to apply this property. If objects are distinct, to have the total number of permutation, to have the total number of arrangement, we will apply NPR. It's very, very, very important. Objects are distinct, formula directly apply. So thank you so much. I hope you have got my point. So thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you so much.